Just a Taste, written by Gojira007. Applejack liked to keep things focused. It had always been the surest way she knew to get things done right. One step at a time, one problem resolved before another, one line of thought pursued from start to finish. No dithering, no distractions. Just concentration and clarity. As the orange earth pony made her way through Ponyville's streets, the stars in the night sky providing her the only real light available, that focus was all the more valuable now. The day she had just experienced left her no shortage of things to think about. After all, Twilight Sparkle, an Alicorn princess, it had been a shock for every pony, and Applejack only hoped that the coronation, which should be held first light of dawn tomorrow, would be as wonderful as one as her dear friend deserved. But, for all that she was happy for her friend, and equal parts excited and anxious to discover what this new title meant for the former unicorn, Applejack found her thoughts kept coming back to another element of the day's adventure. The 3 little diamonds she had so briefly worn as her cutie mark. The specifics of what had happened in that time were still muddled for Applejack, vague and dreamlike to recall. But the broader feelings? The emotions that had raced through her heart like lightning, pulsing and pounding and overwhelming? Those, the Earth Pony remembered with crystal clarity. She had gotten a taste of what it was like to be Rarity. To her surprise and her shame, it had proven more than she could handle. There were, of course, plenty of skills Applejack did not have. Things she was not very good at doing. There was nothing wrong with that. The farmer had long since learned to swallow her pride and accept her limits. Yet, as the Carousel Boutique came into view, she knew the reason her inability to meet the challenge Rarity's cutie mark had presented held onto her thoughts so strongly. Knocking on the door, taking her signature Stetson hat and hoof, and holding it to her chest, Applejack hoped she'd at least be able to tell it to the pony who most deserved to hear it. "Hello!" Rarity greeted with a sing-song voice as she opened the door. The unicorn was wearing her work glasses, the telltale tape measure draped around her, working on her friends' dresses for the coronation. Applejack guessed with a little smile. "Evening, Rarity," she replied humbly. "I hope I ain't bothering you none." The fashionista's eyes twinkled a bit as she let her visitor inside. "It is never a bother to have a dear friend visit, Applejack," she said, "though I admit myself curious as to what brings you by at this late hour. Shouldn't you be getting plenty of rest for Twilight's coronation?" "I couldn't sleep," Applejack replied simply. "Kept thinking about, things I wanted to tell you." That clearly caught Rarity's attention, something fierce. "Oh?" Applejack nodded, taking a brief moment to look over the boutique and its many glimmering gowns. Hazy images of tattered shades and boarded-up windows danced across the farmer's mind at that. "I reckon I made a right mess of this place," she whispered, "and you fixed her right up in no time." "Oh, now, Applejack, darling!" Rarity was quick to put a comforting hoof on the Earth Pony's shoulder. "I think nothing of it. None of us were in our right minds today, after all. And I would no more want you feeling guilty over this than you would Pinkie Pie's time as a farm hoof." That got a chuckle out of Applejack, one that helped her keep a little smile as she met the unicorn's blue eyes. "Fair enough," she said. "But the thing is..." She pressed down on her hat a little bit, taking a moment to resolve herself, to make sure the words came out exactly right. "Look, Rarity," she said, "I've always known you were a good pony and fine friend, but I think deep down I always looked at you and what you do as, well, silly, not real work. And today I gotta learn just how wrong I was." She slipped her hat back on, only to place her now free hoof upon Rarity's. "I just wanted to apologize for underestimating you all this time. You're as a hard worker as I could ever find, and I'm all the prouder to have you as a friend. I only hope you can forgive a silly old farmer for a silly old mistake." Rarity's eyes glimmered with pride and glee, a bright smile spreading on her face from cheek to cheek. "But of course, darling," she said. "After all, if Applejack The most dependable pony in Ponyville tells me she's proud of my work. Well, one cannot ask for a higher compliment than that." The Earth Pony's smile widened just a bit, and both shared a quick hug. "Well, thank it kindly for being so understanding, Rarity," Applejack said, a yawn cutting her off before she could say more. "Think nothing of it, dear," Rarity replied, gently guiding her friend back to the door. "Now you go and get some sleep, and thank you again for the visit." Applejack nodded, rubbing a bit of old sleep out of her eye. "Good night, Rarity," she said warmly. "Good night, Applejack," Rarity replied in kind, watching her friend depart with a giddy heartbeat. Once she was sure the farmer was gone, she quickly trotted into the carousel's back room, barely able to contain her excitement. There, tucked behind the coronation dresses, that were long since finished, was the unicorn's true project. The gown Applejack had been working on when Rarity had come to help her in the boutique, slowly but surely being rebuilt under a more experienced hoof. "Just a few more touches," Rarity said to herself, as she prepared to finish her friend's gift.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.